For nearly 2 million years, early humans spent up to 6 hours a day doing nothing but aggressively chewing on cold, rubbery, raw animal flesh. There were no grills, no stoves, and no boiling water to sanitize a kill. Every single piece of meat, every root, and every single insect our ancestors swallowed was 100% raw, packed with deadly bacteria, and actively trying to poison them from the inside out. If you tried to live on this diet today, your modern stomach would collapse from parasitic infections within a week. Which raises a massive evolutionary mystery. How did a fragile, weak primate with flat teeth manage to conquer the prehistoric food chain completely cold, without the power of cooking? If you look at actual apex predators in nature, their biology makes perfect sense. A lion or a hyena has massive canine teeth engineered to tear through tough, raw muscle fibers. They also possess short, highly acidic digestive tracts built to neutralize deadly pathogens before they can multiply. Humans have absolutely none of these advantages. Compared to our primate cousins, modern humans have laughably weak jaws and incredibly small teeth. If you handed a modern human a raw, unpeeled sweet potato or a slab of freshly hunted, unaged wild boar meat, your teeth would literally slip right off the surface. You cannot chew it efficiently. It takes an immense amount of physical energy just to break down raw tissue into pieces small enough to swallow. Chimpanzees, our closest living relatives, spend roughly half their waking hours, up to 6 or 7 hours every single day, just sitting around, chewing on raw, fibrous plants and occasional raw meat. Their entire lives are dictated by the exhausting, mechanical process of mastication. Because they don't cook, they have to use massive jaw muscles just to extract enough calories to survive. If early humans had stayed on this track, we would have never had the time or energy to build civilizations, paint caves, or invent languages. We would still be sitting in trees, chewing on a single root for 4 hours straight. So, if we couldn't cook, what exactly was on the prehistoric menu? Anthropologists studying ancient fossilized teeth have uncovered a diet that was deeply unappetizing, chaotic, and incredibly varied. Before fire, humans were the ultimate opportunists. First up, scavenged leftovers. Before we invented advanced hunting spears, early humans were the ones tracking down massive mammoths or saber-toothed tigers. We would wait in the bushes until a real predator killed a zebra, ate its fill, and left the carcass behind. Our ancestors would then rush out, dodge the vultures, and grab whatever scraps of raw flesh were left clinging to the bone. Second on the menu, insects. Termites, grubs, beetles, and caterpillars were absolute gold mines of raw protein and fat. They didn't require heavy chewing, they couldn't run away very fast, and they didn't have thick hides you needed to slice through. To an early human, a rotting log filled with fat termites was essentially a prehistoric 5-star buffet. And finally, underground storage organs. That is the scientific term for wild roots, tubers, and bulbs. These were packed with starch and water, making them an excellent survival food during droughts. But there was a catch. Raw wild tubers are incredibly bitter, highly fibrous, and frequently laced with natural toxins designed to stop animals from eating them. Eating them raw was a constant game of evolutionary Russian roulette. If eating raw meat and toxic roots is an absolute nightmare for a weak-jawed primate, how did our ancestors avoid starving to death? That if you strike 2 river rocks together, you get an incredibly sharp flake. They didn't use these sharp stones as weapons to hunt. They used them as kitchen utensils. By pounding raw meat against a flat boulder, they manually broke down the tough, rubbery collagen fibers before the meat ever touched their mouths. They were essentially chewing their food with rocks. More importantly, these stone tools unlocked a secret, untamed superfood that no other animal could reach: bone marrow. Apex predators like lions would eat the flesh off a carcass but leave the heavy, thick leg bones behind because their jaws couldn't crack them. Early humans would walk up, smash the bones open with a heavy rock, and scoop out the raw, fatty marrow inside. Marrow is incredibly calorie-dense, sterile, completely safe from external bacteria, and required 0 chewing. This single dietary loophole changed everything. This massive influx of easy, pre-processed calories from raw marrow and pounded meat triggered one of the strangest biological trades in evolutionary history. It allowed our brains to explode in size while our digestive tracts literally shrank. Digestion is incredibly expensive. In nature, if you want to digest raw, unpulverized plants and tough raw meat, you need a massive, heavy, complex gut system that consumes a lot of metabolic energy. But because humans started using stone tools to chop, pound, and tenderize their food outside of their bodies, our internal organs didn't have to work as hard anymore. Over generations, our gut shrank, freeing up a massive surplus of daily energy. Our bodies took that newly available energy and funneled it directly to our brains. The human brain is a massive energy hog. It consumes about 20% of your daily calories, even when you're just sitting on the couch doing nothing. Without the stone kitchen trick, reducing the energy needed for digestion, the modern human brain could never have evolved. We literally thought our way out of having giant teeth and huge stomachs. But even with stone tools, the raw diet had a hard ceiling. You can only pound meat so much, and raw food still carries a massive risk of parasites. Then, roughly 1 million years ago, humans tamed fire, and the world's first actual culinary revolution began. Cooking is essentially external digestion. When you expose raw meat or toxic tubers to heat, the proteins denature, the starches gelatinize, and the tough fibers unravel instantly. Suddenly, food that used to take an hour of mechanical jaw pounding to break down could be swallowed and digested in seconds. Cooking made calories twice as easy to absorb, killed off 99% of deadly foodborne bacteria, and made toxic plants completely safe to eat. Fire turned food from a terrifying survival struggle into a social event. Instead of hiding in the dark, chewing on raw scavenged muscle scraps in absolute silence, humans gathered around a central flame, shared soft, cooked meals, and used their newly freed up time to talk, bond, and build culture. So, the next time you look at a raw diet trend on social media or complain that your steak is slightly overcooked, take a moment to look back in time. Your modern, small, toothed, weak-jawed face is living proof of a multi-million-year technological victory. If our ancestors hadn't figured out how to use river rocks to turn tough raw zebra meat into baby food, you wouldn't be here watching this video today. Smash that subscribe button, hit the like icon, and drop a comment below letting me know what prehistoric mystery we should break down next. See you in the next video.